Hi my friend, it's Pat Sloan here, and we are on the evening edition of my daily video. So once a month right now, I am still doing an evening video so that in the live chat part, more of our friends who are on different kinds of time zones or different kinds of schedules might be able to pop in for the live chat portion. So this week, our holiday celebrations, we're doing the Happy Everything on Mondays, and so the next block on our layout are the carrots. Yes! So here's the carrot runner. At the end here, I'll take it off the wall and show you the quilting that I did on it. And I did the quilting on this one. So we're just doing the 3 carrots for the layout right there. Oh, and a reminder, this layout was given to you weeks and weeks ago, and right now on every Monday I am sharing it again in the article. So if you didn't get it downloaded, go ahead and do it. After that, the layout will always, and it always is right now, at the project page. So that's where it is. And what do my carrots look like? My yellow carrots? Ta-da! Here they are. I love them. They're going to be so fabulous. They'll go right up here in the design when all the blocks are together. Now I am not doing any of the sashing around this one right now. I'm going to leave it a little bit till we do a few more of the blocks around it, and then I will get working on it. So here are some tips for making the block. Being that I'm using yellows and grays and a little pop of teal, aqua, my carrots are going to be yellow. And yes, there are yellow carrots out there. Perfect, right? Maybe not teal carrot tops. I could have gone gray. If I didn't want to add any other sort of stronger pops of color, definitely could have gone with gray carrot tops, but I'm going to do teal. So let's figure out what the fabrics are that I'm going to use. Definitely want to use a background fabric that is different, one of the patterned ones that I own. So I got a few of those out. These two are kind of directional, which doesn't bother me, except that this one actually looks like a little bit like the fencing or something in a garden, doesn't it? And then I have these two, which they're actually orange. So they've got orange on their that coloration. See, whoops, see there. See, they're sort of orange colors. Let's pull this back a little bit. Now I'm sort of leaning towards this one. So let's put the yellow options on top of those. I have 2 that I picked so far. So I'm going to have a carrot with these florals, and then the bunnies. Remember I pulled the bunnies out the other day? So definitely the bunnies. Now, they both have enough that you can see the texture of them. And so what does that mean? I could do another piece that is a little bit more that has aqua in it, which I kind of like that. And then, you know, I have other ones that could work. Like this could work, which would have less pattern. And I'm sort of not leaning that way. I would like them all to have pattern in them. So I'm going to go with these 3 carrots, and I picked this as the carrot tops. Cute, right? So now I just have to decide, do I really want this for the background? Would I prefer, let's see, would I prefer this, which would be a little less, a little bit more forgiving, you know, for the patchwork? There, so it's still got a little bit of texture, a little bit of, you know, you see that orange pop. And then I don't know if I even have enough of this dot fabric, but let's see what that looks like. It's not a big piece, but remember, we're only doing the one end, you know, just the 3 carrots, so we don't need a ton. So here are these guys, and let me see the carrot tops. So the dot's kind of cute too. But I'm going to look at this. I'm going to, see, now it's kind of a different shade, isn't it also? It's very white. I might try the dots. I kind of like the dots. So I'm going to look at that one. And what I'll do is cut this all up and sew my 3 carrots in a row. I think this dots will be enough I have, oh yeah, I can just tell. And I also have another piece of it here. So this will definitely be enough. There's just some strips, some half square triangles, sew and flips. So I've got plenty of this dot. My camera is sinking. So I think it needs tightened up. I'm going to have to call tech support on that. To do the half square triangles for the carrots, I decided to go ahead and get the little AccuQuilt out. The little one looks like this when he's folded up, right? I thought, oh, this just will be so cool just to zip out those half square triangles. So I'm keeping this die out that I have, which is a multi-die. It has the 2.5 inch squares, 2.5 inch half square triangles, 2.5 inch square, and a 4.5 inch square. So I can take the turquoise and the dots and put them over the die, put the plate over top of that, and then what you do, bring them into view here. I like having this little one because I can pick it up. The electronic one is too heavy to bring over here. I can't pick it up and bring it over. But this guy is so nice and light, and I can do so many of these smaller ones, especially if I don't want to be doing a whole bank of half square triangles at once, or squares with the dies, the bigger dies that have a whole bunch. This is doing 2 sets at a time. So here we go. Just pull it up. And I have got I have a little bit more waste on this one because I didn't measure it out well enough. I just sort of did a chunk of fabric. So here we go. They're right sides together. So we had these two. Of course, I got the other one. So I am ready to go. Yes, I could have ironed those, couldn't I? But this is real life. I don't always bother to iron them, and I know that that can affect the accuracy. So buyer beware, or quilter beware. You know, when you know what you're doing, you take a risk. So I take a risk sometimes, and I don't press first. Sometimes that's not such a good risk, but it's one I take. So I have 2 tips here for getting the carrots correct. One is to the smaller pieces are on the top, but these are also great ones for trying starching your fabric. If you've never starched, you could starch the carrot, you could starch the background fabrics. The other thing is really watch the carrot tops so that you get them right. They're sort of, angled a little bit differently, so you really want to look at the picture and set them up right on your design board like this before you start sewing. And these are the design boards I use. You can get them in the links down below or at my article today. This is really a fun block to make. Now, if you were crazy for carrots, you could actually make a whole quilt of just carrots. I think that would be kind of fun. But the table runner is what is in the book. So let me show you the table runner up close. Now, I did some basic quilting. Let me just put the carrots this way. So you can see the quilting on the carrots. I did kind of a loop-de-loo, there you go, loop-de-loo on it. And then there's just some easy free motion in the background. And then on the grid work, or the checkerboard, I just did the X's corner to corner, kept that really simple. And then in the border, I did a free form wave. That's free form, but you could go, no, that is not, I'm sorry, that's the machine. So I did the wave with the walking foot on my machine. So that's what all of that is all the way around. And then the backing, I used some fabric that from a previous fabric line from quite a few years ago. So I think that fabric line's almost all gone. All right, well, we got a few other things today. Some other really wonderful things that went on over the weekend is I got another needle minder. This is one of Bev's with the little pumpkin. Look how sweet that is. Now these needle minders you can actually wear like a pin, and then when you are sewing, if you have needles that you want to, just like sometimes for pins, rather more for pins, I want to keep it where I can just sort of grab it. So the needle minders have a magnet on the back, and they're metal, so then you just can wear it. Like I could just put it here and wear the pumpkin, and then I could just take a pin while I'm working, or a pin or two, and just put them on there like that. So if I want to keep them from, you know, I don't want to put them in my mouth. Don't do that. And I don't want to stick them somewhere. So this is a great way to do that with the needle minders. Also had a really nice mail call. Two things came in. I had the Irene in New York sent me fry cakes. Here's a picture of them. The fry cakes are basically cake donuts, but it turns out this is a phrase that I had no idea was something people used. I had never heard of fry cakes until in my kitchen group, you know, Cook Along, my kitchen adventures over at Facebook, which is also public, so you can come and join that. Somebody mentioned fry cakes, and I'm like, what is that? I associated that term with a particular type of fried dough in New Mexico, which probably is a slightly different name, but apparently cake donuts are what are called fry cakes in New York area and a few other areas. So she sent me some, yummy. And then also Sandra sent me this super cute perfect, right? Donuts and donuts. So she sent me a card with a donut on it and a wonderful little Starbucks card in there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am going to use that today. Mwah. Thank you for thinking of me. I also got this really nice little bowl. I love these for putting the pins in or putting scraps in. And over here on this side of my cutting table, I only have my big baskets. These big, I have two of these, and I really wanted a small one to put near where I'm working so I didn't have to sort of throw them over. I know, indulgence, right? So I got this one, which is handmade. Let me get it out of here. It is just beautiful. So it's very tiny. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? So I can just put this right in front of me when I'm working, like if I'm, you know, trimming up squares. This is what I think would be awesome. If I, you know, have little ends I want to throw in there, or threads maybe from the cross stitch while I'm sitting here, because I often will cross stitch on this side of the table because I have the good light. There it is. I have it pushed up out of the way right now, but it's right here on the end of my table. So I love this. I know they still have some. See, it's got the hand stamped on the bottom from Heart and Hand, which is a I think it's also a cross stitch company. Oh, beautiful. All right, I did send out emails to two Spooky Box people, both Peggy and Sylvia. Peggy said that her fall decoration, she loves Halloween decorating, starting October 1, with the pumpkins and the black cats are her favorite thing. Now I have to do some more black cat stuff. I have one black cat on a little like mat. And then Sylvia said she has a wreath for her front door that has tiny pumpkins on it, and that is her favorite fall decoration. So the Spooky Box, the interior, I'm not sending the box, but the interior of it I'm sending out to both of you once you email me back. I've emailed you already on Saturday, so hopefully you'll write me back. And also I wanted to remind everybody that these actually, when they come, they're shipping boxes. So they are what goes in the mail. The label goes on one side, and this gets your boxes get shipped in this. So sometimes they don't come in pristine condition, as you can imagine. They go through the mail. They're a little bit banged up. So I don't keep those ones. The ones I keep are the ones that make it here in better condition. I also never pull the tape off, because this is cardboard. Once you pull that tape off, you're going to rip all the paper off, and it's not going to be pretty anymore. All I do is slice it here, and I leave this tape on. To all of them that I keep for use have the tape on them. So somebody was asking about that, and I thought, oh well, if you're curious, there you go. I wanted to tell you about a book that I got from a museum exhibit, and I really wish that I had been able to attend this museum exhibit, but I didn't have a chance. It was in Lincoln, Nebraska, at the International Quilt Museum, which is associated with the university there. It's amazing. I probably have talked about this a few times over the years. At one point way back when I did my podcast for the magazine, I went there and interviewed Carolyn Ducey, who is the curator of the museum, and you see her on a lot of things if you follow the museum. Well, this book was about an exhibit that they did to celebrate the 50-year anniversary of a groundbreaking quilt exhibit that happened in 1971. So 71, here we go, 71 to 2021. Quilts prior to this were there, but they were not of any great value. They were probably not as many in quilt museums, or there were no quilt museums, but they weren't even in the major museums. But there were two people who were antique dealers, Jonathan Holstein and Gail Vanderhoof. And what they did is they decided that the artwork of quilts was pretty incredible and very affordable. Very affordable at the time in the 71. So they started going out to purchase quilts. They went, and mostly I think in the East to begin with. Now I'm just, giving you some very high level, and I might not have it quite right, but if you get the book, you'll get all the details. But they went out and bought these quilts, and it was in the summer of 71, and I guess they had proposed this exhibit, and it was at the Whitney, let me get the name right, New York's Whitney Museum of American Art. So that museum, they proposed having an exhibit of these quilts just for their aesthetic value and the geometry and how they looked. And the Whitney Museum was like, okay, let's do it. And apparently one of the things I read was that summer at that time was not a high traffic, the museums didn't get a lot of traffic, and they didn't put their best exhibits in. so they had a room for this little textile, exhibit of quilts. Well, once they hung these quilts so that you can see a little picture there down at the bottom, they hung them up as art, and people, went nuts. We are so used to seeing quilts hang like that now. That doesn't look unusual to us. But in 71, 50 years ago, in a major museum, that was groundbreaking. And it basically opened up quilts as a medium to be respected, to be saved, to be cherished, to be used in museums to showcase art as art. So it was a fabulous exhibit. Now they did, I think, at the museum, the International Quilt Museum in Lincoln, Nebraska, had some contemporary quilts and different time span quilts, and then they talked about this. It's just, I'm sure it was so fabulous to see, but the museum book is equally fabulous. There are, quilts in it. This one here is cigarette silks. Isn't that fabulous? Look at that. There's just all kinds of great things, including like photos like this that show quilts finally being, in articles and museums and things like that. Anyway, I just like here's just, hey, looks like a crumb quilt to me. Where is it? This one here. Looks like a crumb quilt. Great stuff. Great stuff. So I will link you below to the museum, and if you want to get a copy of the book and learn the history, I like these type of books. I like the history part of it. That's, I think, really fascinating to me. I just, yeah, it's the best part. And I love it when somebody else has done the research. I'm not a big researcher, I mean, I can, and I do, but I am not one that I want to spend all the time to go and accumulate all this data. But I love when it's all put together and I'm able to then benefit from all that hard work of the researchers and the writers who put these books together. And they're the kind of things that they come and go. They only print so many, probably not a lot, and when they're gone, they're gone. So I was like, I ordered it immediately, and I only heard about the exhibit, towards the last few days of it. Somehow I missed that it was going on. And that's the way it is, it's hard to keep up on everything that goes out in the quilting world when you're also doing your own thing. So if anybody ever hears about cool stuff, let me know so that I don't miss out on it. Although I don't think I could have gone out to Nebraska right now. Maybe in a different year it might have happened. Okay, one more thing that I got more of. That would be how to say it. I got more of these because I love these little baskets. These They're sort of a rope basket. And I know you can make your own, but I'm not making my own. I found these, and the link is down below. And they come, you get 2 at a time. So I have found that I was using these quite a bit. They're round, but I also like that they're pliable. So like they come like this, you know, and you can get them, you know, sort of, you know, push them so they're now round again. But I like some of them being like this oval so that I can put like the crochet thing in there like this. It works for me. But what I found was I was emptying one of them and putting other things in it because they come 2 in a package. And I finally like, duh, why don't I just buy a second set? So I have 4 of them now, and I think that's plenty because I've been leaving the cross stitch in them. So like here is my cross stitch university. I'm working on the tree. See the tree? Just getting started, but I've been keeping 2 of the cross stitch projects in them. And then I found that I really wanted to put this crochet one in here. Here is where I am with that. And once I get this green done, I'm back to that purple again, which now will be more of a strip instead of a big fat chunk like that. And this ball of yarn is, you know, I'm definitely going to need 2. Whoops, definitely will need 2 of them to do this. So I am looking forward to seeing how big I make this. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Very little sherbety. Then I have to make like a fall one or something, or a winter one. They're nice to do. They work my hand, so that's really good. So over the weekend, it was really great to see all of the sports quilts that you were showing in my Facebook group, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan, by the way, which is public, so all of you can come even as a visitor. You don't have to be a member of Facebook. But I was actually expecting more sports quilts. So if you didn't get a chance to show one this weekend, show it today, show it tomorrow, show it sometime this week. I'm sure there are more sports themed quilts out there. I want to see them. Okay, we are ready. This is, what is it, our 3rd official? Yeah, it's the 3rd week of block. So 1, 2, and the carrots. The carrots, they are block 3 for Happy Everything. I am loving this so much. I am so excited on Monday. Or actually I tape on Sunday, so on Sunday to go through and pull my fabrics and find what's going to work for the next block. The sashings are also going to be super fun to do for me, and getting teal into this one now, just like, okay, that opens the door. Now I can pop a little teal here and there, but not too much. I don't want too much, just little tiny bits like this. All right, my friend. Thank you for being here. Thank you for visiting. For those of you who show up for the chat, mwah, it is so fabulous to be able to chat in real time with you when this aired. I appreciate you so much. I love you. Mwah. See you online.